Hello, everybody. My name's Funk McLovin. So I did a Twitter poll recently on the next video topic, and it became Homestuck troll biology. Basically, what I wanted to do was make a whole video about troll Homestuck biology. I thought it would be 10 minutes long because I'm a fool and an idiot. So what I did was I posted another thread that was basically like, post all of your headcanons. And so as a first entry into this video, I took the 103 responses and I made them and sort of compiled them into a video where I discuss basically everyone's headcanons and whether or not I think they would be included in the final video. So this is sort of like a preamble to a future video that I'm going to do about troll biology. I wanted to do this because I did promise to make this video, and the implication was that I have it out by my next Sunday video, so people will be able to understand that. So I want to have something out by this Sunday so I can stay true to that, but also there's just too much to go over in one video, so I have to split it up in two, basically, because so many people responded to this. I was just astounded. I did not know there was so much to cover in terms of troll biology, because the entry on MSPA Wiki is like pretty short. So in my head, I was like, this will be easy. But then I sort of stumbled into a lot of shit. Basically, what this video is leading up to, which is a whole big analysis video on troll biology. This is just me going over all of the headcanons that people submitted in the troll headcanons thread on Twitter. So yeah, if you like this, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe as usual. Shout out to my two patrons, Jojiro and Luna. Thanks. Have a great one. All right, let's take the plunge. I'm going to only include the ones that are good, obviously. Rice Noodles Alt says, my headcanon is that Gamzee has Tourette's, and that's what his honking is. That's fair. That's not biological. That's fine. Troll horns are similar to rhino horns or human fingernails. They're fleshy inside with a hard keratin outside. Also, troll boobs store water. I've seen this one around a lot. That is all. Thanks, Kerple. Snoozy Boy says, the hemote spectrum isn't a line, but a circle. All trolls live the same amount of life, but socioeconomic differences mean that burgundies get the least likelihood of surviving for long, thus have the lowest lifespan. I'm assuming they mean rust bloods. This one I've seen a lot too, like the enforced lifespan. Artificial Tinkerer says, I see troll horns kind of like nails. It can hurt when you suddenly break them, but they don't have any nerves or feelings, so they grow to a max length. But if they break off, they grow back to that length. I see trolls painting them. Yes. Actually, that's canonical. Kakaro paints his horns. So I also think that their skin is very, very light tinted translucent color of their blood, like how you'd see a red when holding a flashlight through your finger. Yeah, I think this is another one that is not just fanon, but also has a precedent in actual biology. Crustacean Alien says, trolls shed their skin, like snakes. I don't know about this one. It's funny, though. Or like cicadas. Like trolls crawl onto trees and shed their skins. Wyvern King says, sea dwellers are capable of bioluminescence and biofluorescence, but not all of them possess these traits. There are deep sea dwellers, but they're very rare and much larger and sturdier than their shallow dwelling friends. They often glow and are hardier in unfavorable waters. Krusty Crustacean says, Soper Slime is made of lime bloods, which is the reason why Karkat was able to calm down Gamzee. I don't know about the last half, which is the reason why Karkat was able to calm down Gamzee, but I've seen this before, and I think it comes up again, but the Soper Slime is made of lime bloods. Uranium Glass says, golds have doubled ears. This is cool. The cat's body temperature's dipper. Oh, that's a good one. Maroons have the warmest, fuchsias have the coldest. Trolls purr. Troll eyes glow in the dark. Archaic Equilibrium says, retroreflective eyes, like cats or road signs at night. This would fit because they are nocturnal, at least on their home planets. Horns are a little bit glow in the dark. Hair of Hrare says, I don't think trolls have agriculture. They have livestock and they may do minor container gardening, but I don't think they do crop farming as we know it. Between the sun and wildlife, etc., it just doesn't make a lot of sense to farm. That's interesting. I feel like the fanon of trolls eating grubs lends weight to this. You don't feed your lower classes their own young if you have a lot of grain lying around. If they do farm anything on their homeworld, it's probably mushrooms or insects protein. Oh, that's good. I'm going to use this. Also, trolls eating grubs. The grubs are not their young. They do not eat wigglers. Grubs and wigglers are two different things. Oh, this is Juice Resident Carapacian lover. Grub sauce and other food items is made with actual culled grubs. Again, the grubs are not wigglers. I think that you could say that they practice cannibalism. That's fine. All quadrants are performatic, but kismetic romance might be the most performatic of all of them. Trolls just pretend they hate each other and keep escalating that for fun. Troll skin is very thick and leathery, which makes them not only resistant against scratches, but it's also a line of defense against people finding your blood color if you don't want to show it. Even if they're extremely embarrassed, trolls aren't able to get their faces flustered. I don't have many troll head cannons because I care very little about what gray humalians are like. I think Rubs has hit on something important, that trolls are basically just gray humans with horns, and anything else is extrapolation, which is why I'm doing this. Benny Bunny says, I headcanon that trolls have little tails. I have no evidence. I just think it'd be nice. You know what, Benny Bunny? I wholeheartely agree. This one's from Yo It's Crow. It's really good. Troll bulges unfurl like party noisemaker. Gold trolls sometimes have ears that split. That's the second time I've seen this. Trolls shape their horns like mani-pedi, and they get unruly if you don't look after them. I like this, but it's not canon compliant. Matt says, trolls, especially post-scratch, secretly love conflict and become restless. Gone a long period of time, no conflict or fighting. You know, this makes sense, like, dispositionally, because Vriska in Homestuck 2 obviously is having this problem. I don't know if every troll would, but certainly some or many trolls would. Anna, aka Articulately Composed, says, serious headcanons. All trolls have the same life expectancy. Low bloods just die sooner because of culling or poor living situations. Low bloods are more likely to have psionics since they develop them as an evolutionary response against the generations of abuse at the hand of the Empire. I really like that. I don't like the idea of trolls having different lifespans for the same reason I don't like elves having different lifespans in Lord of the Rings. I just think it's unfair, and it creates problems that are like... It's creating a fictional problem that is existentially horrible. And I think that, like, it would be incredibly sad if a Cerulean fell in love with a Rustblood, and then they died, like, you know, a quarter into their life or something. I think that's incredibly sad. And I think that it solves much of that problem if instead of biological, it's societal. Like, that just underlines how fucked up the society is. And then the silly headcanon is trolls can get pregnant. I like that. And then I posted, Prego! Girls and Dave Cat says, trolls all have the potential to live as long as a fuchsia blood, but because trolls of the lower caste are killed off, their life expectancy of lower caste is relatively small. Same thing. Dr. Spooky says, mother grubs aren't a different species, but a certain chromosomal phenotype that makes the grub continuously grow instead of becoming a normal troll. They're essentially a queen troll, if you will. I have lots to say about this one, so I'm going to leave this alone. Sea dwellers are bioluminescent. High bloods live longer, so in the context of schooling, if they have one, they have longer schools. This is the second sea dwellers are bioluminescent one. I like this because how the fuck are they going to see underwater? Baller G Gangster says, trolls have no noses or ears, and they look vaguely like gray aliens with hair and horns. If you're saying they have no protruding noses, I could get behind that because they're never shown to have them in canon. I don't think this adds anything to the greater lore. In Pest Request and Friend Sim, I'm pretty sure they have noses, and they also have ears. Bug says, animalistic trolls till the day I die, they're just funny little creatures. I've seen this a lot too. That this is the same thing for the tails. Trolls go through two pupations. The first one, they go from wigglers to kid adolescent, and the second one, they become adults. Land dwellers go through their second pupation about the same time, about 20 years, because, well, there's a slight difference in lifespans in the castes. A Burgundy's average lifespan is 10 sweep. Low bloods have a lower quality of life and get murdered for fun. Sea dwellers, on the other hand, usually hit their second pupation in their 30s, in years, not sweeps. And Eris's second pupation is the point where she fights the Condi to death on Alternia, and in Beforus, where she ascends to rule directly under Pfeffery. Abigail Cloutier says, can move their teeth individually, but the radius of movement varies by troll. Briscanepid and Kanai can move theirs like bug mandibles. Karkat and Gamzee can move each tooth on its own, and Terezi's teeth are perfectly conical and rotate like drill bits. Trolls don't have a circulatory system, but push their blood around with their blood pusher and muscles. And also means that, like IRL spiders, if you sever a limb, the hole will close almost immediately with fairly little blood loss. I like this idea, though, that you can create a control movement by plugging artificial limbs into the stump and it'll fill with blood. This makes sense to me. Sea Dweller Lime Bloods. Oh, 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 okay. Pfeffer is blubbery and chubby buff when she's in the water, but her skin goes soggy when she gets out of the cup. No, no, that's not how it is. My good friend Janaya says, 1, grub scars. The scars all along the side where the grub legs used to be. It's not like canon that this is what they are, but it makes sense that that would be what they are. Because some trolls that we see shirtless in Friend Sim have these. They horns are textured like antlers with a velvety covering. I like this one. I don't see why we can't have this one. We can just add this one for a little bit of flavor. This one I just heard, but trolls pick their skin around their horns like people pick the skin around their nails. That's gross, but also kind of cool. This is the anti-headcanon, but I firmly believe that trolls are basically just gray humans. Yeah, I talked about this before, but like that's what they are in canon. You have to extrapolate a lot. Also, this is Huss Nasty Terezia, apparently. Smiling. Nice. Low bloods run hotter the closer they are to rust, and high bloods run colder the closer they are to fuchsia. Jades are unique in that they're roughly close to human body temp, but theirs have incredible consistency. Yeah, I like this. The body temperature thing, I'm going to talk about this more as well. This is another one that I really love. Here's a headcanon. Thank you for doing that, Gizmo. That's what I asked for. Theoretically, with enough science and blood experimentation, you can imprint one cast's natural abilities onto the other. This is why off-cast colors are considered dangerous and a call-on-site offense by the Empire, because a troll of colder runs as off-cerulean or not quite indigo could suddenly have a modicum of control over ghosts or flashy laser eyes. Yeah, this makes sense. Older popular headcanons. Trolls purring furry, or something like that, like cicadas. The horns being a sweet spot. Yeah, that's another fucking RP bullshit. Hair and skin being thicker. This makes sense. And tentabulges. Listen. We're going to crack this tentabulge nut a little later, so just you wait. Number 1, Jade Harley says, every troll is 3'2". This would be fucking hilarious. Land-dwelling trolls have a thin layer of fur covering most of their bodies. Sea Dweller have the same thing, but with scales in certain areas. I like this. However, my interpretation is very, very different in that land-dwelling and sea-dwelling trolls are not fur. They're not mammalian, so they wouldn't have fur. Different life expectancy that wasn't exaggerated naturally. It was bred for. They didn't at first live as long as Tyrion or more than a rust, but their form of reproduction makes selective breeding easier. Yes, warmer castes lived in a bit less naturally, but it wasn't like that. The grammar of this paragraph has left the chat. No, I get what you're saying. Sea Dwellers don't actually have normal noses. Think of how Voldemort just has slits for noses, but I think that's how Sea Dwellers look. Since they're intended for water, they of course use their gills more often and don't need a regular nose, but still have slits in place of one. Gamzees 411. Thank you, Ogube. Meat Pwned Man says, trolls are externally entirely human-like. Their insides are completely fucked up and unrecognizable. Yeah. Bloody shits. No, I'm not going to read this. Oh, hard pass. Says, one I thought I saw was pretty cool was gendered traits are given to trolls through their lucis and like pheromones or some shit, which is pretty neat. This is cool. I don't know how the fuck pheromones would give you gendered traits. Like you grow, like they give you boobs with pheromones? Wisteria says, sea dwellers are kind of suited to the climate they live in. For example, a sea dweller could be as big and have like blubber if they live in the cold, or they could be skinnier or smaller if they're in warmer water. I think the blubber thing is mammalian, which I said I was going to throw out. However, I do like the idea of different climates making different body types. Twitter user Penis Fart Balls says, none of the trolls are cis. I mean, that's canon. Sea dwellers, ears, fins look like this. Little things right there. Oh, wow, with the... Whoa, okay, okay, I like this. This is interesting anatomy. Thank you, Theo. Lesbian Vriska for the win. Trolls have are like snakes and shed their skin. That's the second fucking time I've seen shedding skin. I might have to include that just because two people said it. This image That's all. All right. Thanks. Kit Kithrin says, I always like to think that trolls have selected their skin with blood color. Nothing too massive that at a glance you can tell a normal troll's blood color, but you can find out if they're with them often enough. Stealing this from Wiggler's Cocoon and then emerges trolls. This is canon. This is just canon. Top Viper says, drones are the result of a mother grub spawn without genetic slurry, as well as augments made by the Alternian Empire. Yes, this is a big one that I'm going to talk about. This. I don't remember where I saw this, but trolls can reproduce, more evolutionary advanced, although need control and culling. Drones can't reproduce, more robust, simple, consistent, but as a result, really stranded by their specialization. Gamzee has gills, while any troll that has lucci related to water can develop gills at a young age. When young purple bloods are actually really thin, they later grow a lot. I think this is just canon, the last sentence. But the gills, I don't know about Gamzee having gills, like that specific character, or trolls with specific lucci can go into the water, because Gamzee specifically cannot like go with his dad. Like his dad is gone a lot. The years-long debate over whether or not trolls have ears. Oh my god, this is huge. So for those of you who don't know, on Tumblr, there was a like theory going around that trolls didn't have ears because they didn't have them in a lot of their depictions, which is pretty funny. Dirk, I can't believe Dirk Simp wasn't fucking taken. That's amazing. Thank you, Dirk Simp. You are living large. Shout out to Dirk Simp. Anyway, only some trolls have skin pigmentation of the color of their blood. It's like how some humans have more flushed skin than others. Yeah, this goes back to the blood thing. I think this could fit. This explains why Karkat was able to get by. He had little to no skin pigmentation. A normal troll would have a darker face when angry, like him. Rain says, once I saw about Jade Bloods having 4 arms to imitate the appearance of the mother grub. It's not canon, but I feel like it's one of those things that the fandom can manifest into faux canon together. This is adorable. It's definitely not canon and definitely not part of this analysis. However, I love it. The trolls are supposed to be ugly as sin because they're trolls, not anime protagonists. Thank you, Vwen, for your contribution. Is that crying Ben Shapiro? Chloe says, Gold Bloods have 2 ears. This is the second time I've seen it. All trolls can purr. This is seen that again. Olive Bloods have tails. These last 2 are kind of mammalian, so we'll talk about those pretty soon. Also, their Nepeta profile picture is looking right at me. Mac says, the trolls are big. They're tall and muscular, and some of them are chubby. The higher you go up on the hemo spectrum, the bigger you are. No one has said this so far, but this is like one of the more probable ones to me. Like the higher you go on the spectrum, especially past high bloods, Mr. Shift added, but not always. They can be bigger and smaller too. It's just general expectancy. Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's huge swaths of difference. Like Nepeta and Conil are very different, but I think that you could make an argument that like on average, trolls are bigger the higher up they go. Ah, yes. Furry trolls versus insect trolls versus human trolls. Now, okay, Gray has put their finger on the fucking shtick. I don't feel like I see that much, but the headcanon about trolls having more bug-like anatomy and look was popular for a bit and cool as hell, in my opinion. Not just cool as hell, but I think they're related to insects in what they eat and also in what they how they reproduce. So I go with this. But yeah, basically there are 3 schools of thought. There's the furry trolls, the insect trolls, and the human trolls. And I'm going with insect trolls because I think it's the best one. I really like the idea of sea dwellers having gills as well as their fin ear things. I've also seen a lot of people draw sea dweller grubs with tail fins, which is cute. The idea of them keeping them into adulthood is also cute. Yeah, I think everything but the tail fins in adulthood is probably accurate. I mean, they're going to have some kind of gills with their fin ear things, right? Like, they got to have some kind of gills. Since Caliborn manipulated troll history, he's the one responsible for trolls having funny names for things like Thinkpan and Loadgaper. He made their culture silly on purpose so Calliope would look dumb for them. He's playing the long game. I don't think Caliborn is smart enough to do this, but that's really funny. Pfeffry and Aridin are chubby in appearance, but they live deep in the ocean and are able to handle the pressure, and in particular, Pfeffry has a more muscular from swimming, from hunting food. Yeah, I think that, having more fit appearances, I don't think they live deep down because when we see Pfeffery, she's always in water that's well lit. So she doesn't live like super deep in the ocean. And presumably Eridan doesn't either. However, I think that they could live deep in the ocean, and they certainly have to withstand the pressure. So, you know, fucking Eolon. I don't know who that is. Land-dwelling trolls have paws. Yes. We have a furry troll. We have a furry. Yes. Adult trolls can live pretty freely. Not everyone are in constant space conquest. Mr. Shift says, I like the idea of them colonizing other planets if the Empire needs it, and leaving some after if its use is no longer relevant. So yeah, you're not be going to a war meat shield, but can go to some colony and manage things there. This is interesting. This has more to do with like adult life, which is basically just in the realm of extrapolation. But I think that you could make some fix about this. Homeric Horror says, horns are shaped initially, but the trolls... Oh, horns are shaped initially by the trolls, Lucis. Oh, I see. I don't know what that comic is, but that's interesting. Rustblood telekinesis works on a basic of necropathy, controlling the ectoplasm left behind by dead trolls. I don't think that's true, because Aradia moves the meteor. There's no dead trolls on the meteor. But that's kind of cool. Necropathy. All trolls, no matter the caste, are roughly similar. All the Empire did was spent millennia exaggerating small differences and predispositions. Any troll could be psionic. Oh, this is another one where it's like the Empire did a eugenics. Trolls breathe through their skin. The air goes in through their pores. Rakupakuns act like the ultimate skincare product and clean out the pores as they rest. A troll can survive without this, but it makes breathing and living a lot easier. Trolls can also breathe through their mouths like humans. Sea dwellers, of course, have their gills. Breathing through the skin generally feels more natural. This headcanon works with the headcanon that trolls don't have noses. Okay, so you took the funny haha thing of trolls don't have noses and then made it like actual lore. And for this, I respect you. However, I don't think it's... well, I might come back to this. Trolls breathe through their skin, so we'll come back to this. Lime blood is used as soaper slime. As you can see, I said that this one made sense. I like this one. You rang, says Madame Matryoshka. Ears are long and pointed and have saddle joints to make them move forward and backward for an extra range of hearing. No noses. Everyone's fucking... I'm so fucking astounded that the no noses thing has picked up so much traction, apparently. Sight's not very good since they live in the dark. Pigment in the sclera is to protect them in brighter lights. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think this one's true because they live comfortably on Earth C, which is a sunny planet. Skin is thick and textured, but scars easily. Okay, we'll get back to the thick skin one. Their digestion is very good, and they can eat a lot more than humans can without getting sick. This one makes sense because they eat fucking bugs. So yeah. Grub legs are made of bone and harden during pupation to become their first set of ribs. Grub scars are the entry point where they break the skin. Okay, this is taking grub scars, which is basically canon at this point, and making it like actually make biological sense. So we're going to come back to this later. Grub eyes are coated in a thin layer of hardened blood. Yeah, it's gross, sorry. Listen, we're all fucking gross monster fuckers here. It's fine. It's absorbed in the blood by pupation. When this coating is not absorbed properly, it causes changes in how the body handles the electric currents, i.e. psionics. Trolls require less water in their body than humans because their saliva and tears and other unnamed fluids are made up of blood, which is easy for them to produce. I do like this. I've never seen this before, but it's like making something click in my brain because it makes total fucking sense how basically their saliva is pigmented and their tears are. So if it's colored, then it would make sense that there's some blood in there. And maybe their blood is of a different composition to humans. I don't really know what would color it or cause the coloration. And I'll get back to that later. But the last one is horns are connected to the scalp, not the skull, and are made of hard cartilage that yellows when exposed to oxygen. This material doesn't really exist, but it's the best explanation I got. And were used as early weapons or tools for hunting and gathering. I think that this is non-canon because when the handmaid is electrocuted, we see that her horns are actually connected to the skull. But I do like this one. Troll bioluminescence. This is the most popular one, I think. That or the no noses. Sea dwellers can have multiple blood colors. All right. Forest trolls don't usually have sharp teeth due to their utopian society. I think some of them do. So this might be wrong. Well, not wrong, just non-canon. Some lime bloods are still out there somewhere. Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, it was framed as a genocide, so it would make sense that some might have survived somewhere. Their education system is better than ours. I don't know how that would be, but it makes sense because they're like as smart as humans. And like Vriska never has to go to school, so she would be done by the time she's the equivalent of 16. So like, yeah, I don't see why not. Callum Traveler says, troll biology as it stands wasn't originally tied to the mother grub. Totally. Trolls used to be able to breed without the mother grub, but at some point Scratch began nudging things to make trolls utterly dependent on the mother grub. I think you could make a case for this because Arania and the Beforeign trolls never mention the mother grub as far as I know, so it might have been a purely Alternian thing. Trolls... they probably need the mother grub, and my theories are going to hinge on it. So if I accepted this, it would break some of my theories, so I'm not going to include it. They go on to say, trolls with wings are also used to be more common before meddling, making trolls with them wild evolutionary throwbacks. This makes sense, because trolls then have wings after going God tier, and God tier is said to, like, it's been shown to mend things about your body that you want to be mended. So if you're saying that, then I would say it's not just more common, but maybe like wings are removed at some point during troll adolescence. Limebloods on Alternia are relegated to the mythological status and hunted, not because they're dangerous, but because they're some of the most valuable soldiers. That goes against the Hemospectrum's tiering, and thus it's a secret. Okay, that makes sense. That would still tie into like them being really powerful. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, it goes against the Hemospectrum, so it's kept a secret. Sleepy says Dirk is trans, even though that's not a troll, but props to Sleepy. Oa says, man, shout out to the people who made these whole fucking notes about this, because A, you're making my job easier because you made this, but also B, you're making my life harder because now I gotta read more. Anyway, trolls can range to 5 to 7 feet as youth and can reach even bigger after they're 40 years, adults. They usually have hooves or paws, but it can differentiate. Tails come in all shapes and sizes. Sea dwellers feel like seals, land trolls feel like cats. Again, that's a mammalian thing, I'm not going to include that. They can have stripes or speckles. They can have a crop in the chest to store food items. Okay. Goldbloods have 2 sets of ears and 2 tails. Trolls can be herbivores or vegetarian, even if most eat meat, fish, bugs, or junk food. They're musky. Why'd you have to say that? I know you didn't know you were going to be in a video, but come on. Come on. Toby says, Saul Cat. Thank you, Toby. Trolls in general are more likely highly advanced bugs than mammals. Now this is going to be good. Also, I like your Dirk Nukem. It's Dirk Nukem. In the same way, the mother grub is like the trolling equivalent of the queen bee and ants. This is huge. I'm going to be talking about this. This is a huge thing. Humans tend to favor patriarchal societies. Trolls fall into matriarchal societies. That's canon. There's some bullshit about, like, patriarchy versus matriarchy. I think ostensibly speaking, males and females in terms of gender on Alternia are pretty equal. And I like to keep it that way just because I kind of like people being equal. To reflect this, as well as their non-mammalian nature of the purpose of troll boobs, is to act more like body armor, protecting organs that are in areas like heart. Okay, boobs as body armor. Interesting. Troll hair is made of similar material to what human nails are made of, and naturally acts as both protection from the harsh Alternian sun and to protect against blows to the head. It's very unromantic to run your fingers through. The lower in the hemospectrum you are, the warmer your blood. I've seen this too, this good. This person, I could have just read this person's thread, honestly. Mutants like Karkat are abnormally warm, being human temperature. Blood colors do not really exist. It's all one fluid spectrum. What we know about the Hemospectrum was Empire propaganda. Okay. See, this is non-canon, but I like it. It's one of those things that you could make a fic out of. And then finally, not only do all troll casts live the same amount of time, the amount of time any one troll can live is indefinite. They can effectively live forever as long as nothing kills them. I like this. I'm gonna tweak it in my final thing, but honestly, this is pretty close to like what I think trolls are. Israbel wrote a lot about void rot and psionics. This is good. Mother grub female, all other trolls male. Their material has to combine to make another troll, and they reproduce bisexually. So I think it's safe to say that all the humanoid trolls are genetically male. I have a lot to say on this, so I'm going to leave it alone. Mina and the Condis actually have I fucking love this one. I can't see this one. I wish I could. And it's apparently funny. Very funny. Someone said Transfem Travros. That's, there you go. A picture of a raccoon says, trolls get velvet. Their horns break every one or so sweep, and they grow back with a layer of velvet minus the blood. This is like deer. I think this is like a deer headcanon. I don't know how deer antlers work. Mr. Suyo says, headcanon for adult trolls. They have to wear a face mask that makes them look like that. That's funny. I'm going to hit show more replies. This is the ones that Twitter has like filtered out. So if it's horny, fuck. Trolls are incapable of sincerity. I like that. Purple Bloods are low-key looked down upon them before us because of their chuckle voodoos. Sure. Troll horn size corresponds to troll dick and ball size. Thank you, 21st century man. Aridin is troll Ben Shapiro, but with good music taste. All right. Yeah, all right. Troll tears, piss, and cum are all blood-colored because it's literally just their blood. 21st century man is killing it. I feel 23rd... So after I shot the original footage, I got a couple more responses. One from, well, the only one I got was from Stevie's live tweet, who is live tweeting Homestuck. Very, very cool person. Definitely should follow them. I did a interview with Stevie a while back on my channel, so please check that out. I'll put a card in the corner. But Stevie says lighter gray at the bottom of the hemospectrum and darker gray towards the top. This is, of course, in reference to skin color. And then they elaborate. Like, bottom of the spectrum doesn't live as long because it's more exposure to things like sun, weapons, etc. Thicker skin means darker and less blood color showing through the skin. Fuchsia is charcoal gray, where rust is dusty gray with a tint of red but develops over puberty. This is not a canon one. Like, this has no basis in canon because all of the trolls are the same skin color. But I think it would be cool if there was something that accounted for this, that accounted for different troll longevities. So I do like this. So that's it. That's all of them. That's the whole Twitter thread. Now, to give you some idea, me going through these tweets originally took me about an hour, and I shaved it down to about 30 minutes of stuff, which means that this was only about half of what people actually submitted, which is, to me, astounding. A lot of people submitted a lot of things that were specific to trolls. Some people submitted things that were just about Homestuck, like the Dirk is Trans one, which, shout out to all of you guys for being passionate about Homestuck and also not following directions. But yeah, this was fun. I really liked all of the headcanons that people provided this time. Very, very entertaining, very fun. But yeah, this is it. You know, check out the next video. If it's not out yet, then it's coming soon, probably in February. So check that out. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Really helps me out, helps you out, because, you know, then you have shown someone that you like them. I can't believe the thing that astounds me the most, people, is that people weren't even that horny. Like, there were a couple horny people in there. There were a couple furries, but it wasn't even that horny. Thanks. Good job. You did it. I only saw a couple people talk about penises. Have a good one, everybody.